Hi, this is Sherry. This last pack is a little bit of detail from meetings that were had while I was at the European Industrial Hemp Association conference in Prague this year. And as listed, you'll see that I met with the wonderful team at BAFA, the CEO from Longchambière, the team from Fatum, Credus, Forever Green, Tamafa, and JK Machinery. I was very fortunate to meet Uwe Brewer from BAFA at the conference, and sometime later was able to visit their factory in Germany in Molch. BAFA's been around since 1996, around the same time as Longchambière and Hempflax. They run a central dispensary for hemp and other products. They have various parts of their factory that are dedicated to production and technical assessment. And they do that to meet the drug and control requirements for their evaluations. The outer buildings of their entire enterprise are all made of hemp. It's made the storage for their seed incredibly easy to do at a constant 10 degrees. They barely need to run the air conditioner or the heater during the day. And how the buildings were made were using a spray technique, and which only took 3 to 4 days to actually put the hemp in place. BAFA use all of the hemp plant, every single bit of it. They don't waste anything. And at the moment, they're looking at how the roots can be used. Uwe and Bent, the CEO, talked about the strict control of farming hemp as it's still applicable in Germany today, and THC levels are limited to 0.3%. Previously, industrial hemp has been under the Health Department for drug control. In April this year, though, it was agreed to be moved under the Agriculture Ministry. Unique to the EU, though, is that agreement from all 27 states is required for the transition to occur, and there is no timeline for this to happen. There exists a number of objectors with interests in oil and farmers who are incentivised to grow other crops. In 2024, though, it's expected that 6,000 hectares of hemp will be planted. The CEO, Bert, was incredibly generous and provided some wonderful insights, which I've listed here. One of the ones he said was, don't start with the farmers. He said, check your markets, understand where they're at, investigate industries and different things like composites as listed, the auto industry, insulation, pet bedding, etc. He said selling long fibre to China is in high demand, and currently China is importing from France and Belgium, and that we are closer, and he felt that potentially that was incredibly beneficial in respect of transport costs. He said chives for building, noting that chives are 2/3 of the weight of a usual bale of straw. He said to look at the non-woven markets first and map out what it will cost for harvesters and to build a decorticating machine, which is what they have done. Develop the business plan to include the usual components as well as working capital, and consider capability of the harvester to do double or triple harvesting, which means that it could be capable to do the straw, the seeds and the leaves. And they work with a company called Goetz Land Technique, and they've been working with them for years, and they've made a particular harvester that's compatible with a La Roche and a Deutsche Farch. Bert went on to say that the business plan needs to compare other competitive markets that hemp will come up against. And for us, it's an opportunity to look at our farm calculator on the AHC website. Consideration of all costs to produce the raw material. And he was very generous with us in saying that if there's a business plan to look at, he would be happy to look at and tell us if we're missing anything. He said it's really important to know the value of the product in the market, and that you must build trust with farmers, and you have to pay them enough to grow crops. Baling machines are essential for farmers, and they play a big part in actually the processing. And farmers need to have a good storage place for their bales. Roofed sheds are suitable if sheds lack wall, and they mustn't have anything more than 15% water in their contents. And he said for every tonne of straw, it equals 1 square metre of storage. So the factory really has to be 2,000 metres square as a minimum for a factory to do decorticating. So in his opinion, the best decorticators are La Roche, Tamarfa and Cretus. The Bava team were so incredibly good with their knowledge, their generous spirit, wanting us to succeed. They did invite us back to have a look at the decortication factory in France and foster a partnership with their provider for their harvester. And that they suggest that the best person you can bring along to these meetings is a technical person who'd be responsible for the lines and the setup of the actual factory. And that person would become essentially your subject matter expert. The next meeting I had was with Antoine Moussi. He's the CEO of Longchambière, and I've just provided a little bit of background about the business. It was established by farmers in 1973 and they formed a cooperative. Their farmers work within a 100-kilometre radius to their factory, and they have an exclusive commitment and a volume commitment as per their cooperative arrangements. The Longchambière is looking at the South American market as another region to develop this model. And when asked about whether or not they would be interested in looking at Australia, they basically said, we don't have a person who speaks English well enough to translate the value proposition. I do know that others have been to their factory under NDA arrangements, and they are, as an organisation, considering a way that potentially we could become a cooperative member or a global business partner. The Longchambière model was very well respected, and they were a keynote speaker really at the conference. I wanted just to illustrate here how they see their business around a cooperative model, how they define confidence, sustainability, quality, consistency, and on the next page, expertise, the social responsibility they feel they have, that they have 5-year agreements, they consider ecosystems, and their know-how on processing, production, etc. is considerable. They benchmark, they define determination here within a cooperative model framework. They refer to naturalness, biodiversity, research and innovation, reactivity and passion. This next slide talks about Tratham. They are an engineering company based in the UK. They basically began their development of equipment for cotton waste processing over 150 years ago. They've diversified into the woolen industry in the 20s and fully exploited, as they say, the technical evolution in the 1960s by becoming a major force within the industry. They've been under acquisition and JV agreements to offer a complete turnkey product line offering. Now on this page I was given quotes for decortication and cleaning line as well as a full decortication system. If you would like copies of those, please let me know. Cretus were also at the conference. They're a technical solution organisation that build industrial turnkey systems for processing of bast fibres, being flax, hemp and canif. They handle the process of waste and manipulation of textiles and fabrics. Dyeing and bleaching systems are a on the radar focus for the organisation. Forever Green was one of the exhibitors at the conference. There's just a couple of copies of what they provided in regards to a brochure. I've reached out for a quote, and at the conference I was essentially quoted 90,000 euros. So Tamarfa were also at the conference. They've been around since 1874. Particular to hemp processing, they do air engineering and natural fibre extraction. They're a specialist in the opening, cleaning and mixing of synthetics and natural fibres. The majority of their product is exported across the world, and a lot of what they do can be customised. They also have a line in East Germany, which is for the insulation business. Also, that company, now known as Kingspan, is in the insulation business and has a Tamarfa line. And Kingspan have this partnership with Hemflax. There's a link there to that website if you're interested in having a look at that as well. So there were a few quotes that have been provided, and if people wanted to get a copy of those quotes, just please contact me. And finally, JK Machinery were there. I took some images of their hemp dehulling line, and to the left-hand side is a history to date of their timeline in their business.